Hi, hello. I wanted to talk about Inteleon. Now that the raid is out, now that we know what Inteleon does and we know its moveset, we know that it has Mist, Snowscape, Blizzard, Snipe Shot, Dark Pulse, and Tearful Look. We know it has 6 moves, 3 attacks, 3 status type moves, and it doesn't have any flying type moves. So this makes a lot of fighting Pokemon viable because the flying type crit is what we were worried about with a lot of fighting type Pokemon. I normally do a video after the raid comes out. If you're unfamiliar with my content, I make group raid builds. So I make a bunch of Pokemon that synergize really well together. And then when they come out, I stream on Twitch. And then I help as many people get through as possible. And I ended up doing like 30 Inteleon with a variety of different Pokemon. And they all seem to work great. But I didn't want to like make this video of like, here's the one Pokemon you should use. Because I think if you already did that, you're probably not looking for these videos. I think Inteleon is a really cool raid, and there was one thing I wanted to talk about, and that's why I'm making today's video, which is weather. And if there's any takeaway from this video, or if you're like, what's the point of this video? I think the point of this video is just to show how cool Pokemon can be, and specifically how one move that you do during a raid can change the entire outcome for the team. So in Generation 9 in Paldea, they changed Hail to Snowscape, and it works a little bit differently. But the most important thing that Snowscape does is it adds a 50% defense boost to any Ice-type Pokemon. And since Inteleon's Tera type is Ice, it gets a 50% boost. And there are a lot of fighting Pokemon that would be good for this raid. If we don't kind of go over weather or what it does, it kind of make the raid harder for yourself. A move, Sunny Day, which makes the raid significantly easier, and it does a lot of things. And I think, and that's what the video is about, is to kind of talk about everything that it does and what it doesn't do. But it will raise Inteleon's defense or any other ice type Pokemon's defense by 50% as long as it's up. It does some other things too, right? Like, if you have Slush Rush, it'll make you go faster. If you have Icy Rock as a held item, instead of lasting for 5 turns, it will last for 8 turns. If you're using a move like Aurora Veil, it puts up both Light Screen and Reflect when Snowscape is up. So Snowscape is new to this generation, and they got rid of Hail. Hail used to do chip damage like Sandstorm. It doesn't do that anymore. Just to kind of show you how this works, we're just in a simple damage calculator. This is the damage calculator I use when we prep for these videos. This is why my EVs are a certain way, because we want to survive certain moves. If we add a +6 to Iron Hands, so if Iron Hands does Belly Drum, you can see how our damage just went up. We're doing significantly more damage. But the crazy thing here is snow. If snow is up, I'm just going to hit this little snow button right here. You can see that we're going from 574 to 382 at our low end, and 670, so almost 700% damage, and we're going down to 451% damage. So just because snow is up, a Pokemon even at +6 is doing significantly less damage because snow is up. That would be equivalent to Iron Hands being about a +3. So it's ultimately having your +6 to a +3 just because of the weather being up. Now, some other things to keep in mind is when snow is up, a move like Blizzard, which is 110 base damage ice move with the Tera stab, will end up having 100% accuracy. And on top of that, having the 100% accuracy, it also has a 10% chance to freeze you. And if that's hitting 4 Pokemon at once, not only is all 4 Pokemon getting hit by a 100% accurate move, there's a 10% chance of being frozen on top of that. The move I wanted to talk about today is just Sunny Day. That's the move I want to talk about. If you noticed my raid builds, there was Sunny Day on a lot of those Pokemon because I thought it was an important move to have, and it turns out it is really important, and it's like the one single move that can like make or break raids. Obviously, I play with the community, and we did all our raids successfully. But when I went in with randoms and they were picking the stereotypical like Annihilate, King Gambit, all those picks, if it wasn't for Sunny Day, I don't think we would have been able to succeed a lot of those raids. That being said, obviously the stereotype is like random players don't know what they're doing, or like, you have to do it like 3 or 4 times with randoms to hope for the best. But like Sunny Day single-handedly makes this raid better, and it does just so much. So on top of removing the 50% defense boost that Inteleon would get and making your moves hit harder. Sunny Day will also increase the damage of fire type moves by 50%. And it will decrease the amount of water type moves by 50%. So because Inteleon, its only water type move is Snipe Shot, you are having the damage to Snipe Shot for your entire team, and you are taking Blizzard and you're turning it into a 70% accurate move instead of a 100% accurate move. And if you're using fire type moves, you're increasing your fire type damage. This is really great for a Pokemon like Walking Wake, where you can use Flamethrower and get that boost. And then it also boosts Hydro Steam, which is its signature move. So normally a water type move would not be boosted in the sun, but Hydro Steam is boosted in the sun. So you're doing a lot of things just by hitting the move Sunny Day. On top of that, it doesn't even stop there. So you're increasing fire type moves. You're decreasing water type moves. You're boosting Hydro Steam. You are decreasing Blizzard's accuracy, removing the defense boost from Inteleon. But on top of all that, you are preventing Pokemon from being frozen. So when sun is up, even if the 70% Blizzard hits you, you cannot be frozen at all. This is just with this one move. Just Sunny Day does so much for this raid. And it kind of shows how cool Pokemon is and how weather can affect your entire team positively. And that's why that kind of goes back to my raid builds, as I like to include moves or I like to include strategies that help the entire team and make it much, much easier. So with my Blissey build, we actually put a Heat Rock on Blissey. So when Blissey uses Sunny Day, it will last 8 turns instead of 5 turns. That gives Blissey 3 turns to not worry about needing to set Sun again. Those 3 turns can be used for like Life Dew or for Helping Hand or to skill swap or just to use Flamethrower, which gets boosted in the sun anyways. I also wanted to talk real quick about Tearful Look. Tearful Look is a move that Inteleon spams quite a few times, and it lowers your target's attack and special attack. This kind of leads into critical hitting. So the cool thing about the Samurott is the Samurott build I made has a 100% chance to crit. With being able to focus energy, which cannot be cleared by the raid boss, which is incredible because the raid boss can clear your swords dances or your bulk ups, but focus energy can't be cleared. It goes away if you faint. But because Samurott can focus energy and then it's holding the scope lens, any move it uses, whether that is Sacred Sword or Brick Break, or in our case, I was using Smart Strike because I was Steel type Tera. The cool thing about critical hit is it ignores stat changes. It ignores negative stat changes, I should say. So if you're -4 because Inteleon is spamming Tearful Look, it doesn't actually matter for Samurott at all. It will continue to do its base crit damage and it will still get its boost from the crit. If you use Blissey to put Sniper onto Samurott, it will still get that effect. If you Terrasilize Steel, it will still get the same type attack bonus, the stabs. I had a comment asking what stab was because they were relatively new to Pokemon. So stab is same type attack bonus. It means when you use a move that matches your type, it will do more damage. So because we Terrasilize to Steel and we're using a Steel type move, it ends up doing more damage. So if we're a water Pokemon and we use Hydro Pump, it does more damage versus a normal type Pokemon using Hydro Pump. That's what stab means. Constant critical hits from Samurott ignore the Tearful Look. Now, critical hits will take the positive effects. So if you're -2, you're hitting at ultimately what is called neutral at like 0. So if you Swords Dance, you would go from -2 to 0. So you would still be doing the same damage. But if you were to Swords Dance one more time and then you're a +2. Actually, let me show you. To show you how critical hits and Swords Dance and Tearful Look all interact, you can see we have 2 Smart Strikes. The top one is critical hit. The bottom one is not critical hit. And let's say that Inteleon does Tearful Look twice. That would mean our attack is -2. So you can see that the top Smart Strike, which is always critical hit, doesn't change at all. And the bottom one is affected. This just shows that critical hit ignores the Tearful Look drops. Now, if we were to Swords Dance and we go back up, so Swords Dance is a +2, so we're going from -2 to neutral. Both of those move that we go back to the normal move. And then if we go to a +2, so we Swords Dance again, you can see that both numbers go up. The critical hit ignores the negative stats, but it recognizes the positive stats and it adds to that. Even if we were -6, the critical hit rate is the same as being 0. So again, -6, 0, exactly the same. So that's really cool about Samurott because it ignores all of those tearful looks. Obviously, if you want to do more damage, you can still Swords Dance through it, or you can have your team haze and then you can Swords Dance. That's a possibility. I just wanted to explain how powerful weather is for your whole team, and I just wanted to explain the critical hit stuff. Again, I know most of my videos the day after a raid are like, these are what worked or these are what didn't work. Everything works fine. You can be successful with a lot of Pokemon. I just think like you are kind of doing yourself a disservice during this Inteleon raid not to use a move like Sunny Day. So most Pokemon can learn Sunny Day, and if you are a support Pokemon, which, you know, if you're playing with randoms, you probably almost always need to be a support Pokemon because randoms don't like to use the cheer menu or don't like to, they like to push buttons. They like to push the damage button over and over again. So if you are a support Pokemon, especially if you're running Blissey or Gardevoir or even Slowking is really great. Sunny Day is awesome. And I explained how much it did. So I think Inteleon is a really cool, I think what Inteleon is trying to do is really cool. I think it is ultimately trying to stop you from one-shotting it by using Snowscape and Tearful Look, setting up Mist. I guess, oh gosh, we went through this whole video without talking about Mist. Yeah, so Inteleon sets up Mist, which it prevents its stats from being lowered. So you'll notice on Walking Wake we had Snarl to lower its special attack. That prevents this. It takes the damage from the Snarl, but it prevents the special attack. You notice on Gardevoir, we did the same thing with Mystical Fire to lower its special attack. Mist will ignore those stat drops. It also ignores the stat drops of something like Acid Spray. Now, with Mist, you can just wait it out. It only lasts 5 turns. Defense Cheer, Sunny Day, Focus Energy, Heal Cheer, you're already at attack on turn 5. After that, all of a sudden, Mist is gone. So you can definitely wait out a move like Mist. You can taunt it so it doesn't mist a second time, because it does mist on turn 0, so there's no way to stop it. You can also use a move like Defog. Surprisingly, Frostmoth does really well this raid because of its ability. So you can open up with Defog on Frostmoth if you want to remove that. That will let Walking Wake's able to Snarl. That'll let Gardevoir's able to Mystic Fire. Again, I'm not explaining these mechanics to say that they're better than, you know, however you brute forced it. I'm explaining these mechanics because they're cool. They're like the mechanics of how Pokemon work and interact with each other are really, really cool. And you can do some very deep things with Pokemon that isn't just hit the attack button. So anyways, the whole point of the video is hit that Sunny Day button, and holy cow, it makes everyone's raid experience better. And I don't know if the randoms that I played with even realized how important or how beneficial Sunny Day was. But hey, if you're watching this video and you thought that was helpful, cool, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I just really liked this raid, even though it was like pretty straightforward and pretty easy. I really liked the theme of what this raid was going to do. I think in retrospect, if Inteleon did have a flying type move, I think it would have been a harder raid for some people, because flying would have hit a lot of super effectiveness that is being brought to this raid. But regardless, I still think like the core mechanics of what Game Freak was trying to do is really cool here. Yeah, I think Sunny Day was by far the best move you could use for this entire raid. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.